Welcome in, Cowboys Nation, to Cowboy Game Day Live, the halftime show brought to you by Dave's Hot Chicken, America's favorite chicken for America's favorite team. Jesse Holley Skywalker, still the Cowboys trail 14-10 at the half. It is at least a competitive game, not necessarily a back and forth game, but both offenses seem to be going up and down the field. They're just either not punching it in or sack fumbles or, just weird plays happening, but it's competitive. You have a shot, like we thought they would have a shot here, but it's been an interesting first half, Jesse, and we asked Michael from Pittsburgh to do some things. We asked Michael from Illinois to do some things, and we've asked the top players for the Cowboys to come out and do some things, and they've had a bit of an up and down type of first half here.
I think you hit it right on the head with an up and down first half from both sides of the ball. The Cowboys have been able to generate a little bit of pressure. Right?
Yeah.
They got home with the strip sack fumble off of the tight end Kyle Pitts trying to block, and they got around the corner with that, and they almost came up with a second one with the peanut punch
that would
by
be big.
Fredericks on Mooney, and so you're seeing some things good happen, but then you see the blown coverage by Diggs on the bunch formation, and they couldn't quite figure out who was going where. And for a walk-in touchdown there. So the Cowboys are doing some good things, getting some pressure. They sacked Kirk Cousins a couple times, but too often than not, you're just seeing this Atlanta offense be able to move up and down the football field at ease. And you just, I guess the cynical part in me, you look up and you go, man, this is going to be one of those second halves where they go into halftime, come back out, and now they got the formula, and they just go off, and your third quarter is another one of those terrible third quarters where you give up 14, 21 points and the game is over with.
I think to stick on that side of the ball, I think what you're hoping for here is that Zach Robinson kind of stays in this pass-happy offense that he's in, because it sounds crazy, but I feel like that's the best shot you got, because at the end of the day, whether you're a poor passing defense or not, there's just more risk to throwing the football than there is running the football. And those risks, we've seen them play out, right? Like Kirk Cousins can't move. We said that coming into this thing. The best way to survive an onslaught on the defense side of the ball is by getting to Kirk. Well, they got to him with the sack fumble, got to him with another sack. And some of the play calling you see from Zach is like, we got to get the ball out quick, right? So they're getting it to, I think it was Robinson, who had a lot of short throws. And sometimes he's making you miss and he's getting some, but sometimes he's getting touched, I'll say, 5 yards behind line of scrimmage. You got to make that first tackle, and then he'll go and get a few yards, or he'll get a 8-9 yarder. But you'll live with that if that's what they want to do, because when they truly run the ball, I mean, they're averaging like 5 yards a pop in regards to Robinson. But when they're just dropping back and want to pitch it behind the line of scrimmage, fine. Now, when they're getting hit up with blown coverages and things like that, and you don't want that. That Diggs play, he probably should have been out of the game because he was hurt and he tried to fight it and come back in. But I think your best bet going into the second half, coming out of the second half, is that they don't turn around and want to run the ball like San Fran figured out. San Fran figured out at the end of that first half, well, we'll just run it on you. They came out 5 plays, 60 yards, touchdown. If they can, and the Cowboys get the ball, but they can come out here, get some points offensively, and then on defense, make Kurt and them have to matriculate down the field, and eventually a holding or a negative play, then now we can see this tide turn.
No, you're absolutely right. And for the Cowboys defensively, Kirk Cousins has always been a guy that will give you a chance to make a play somehow, some way. You got to just make it.
Yeah.
And, while he's, has 2 touchdowns early in this game, like I said, the strip sack fumble is there. Some other plays have been there for the Cowboys to be made, but to flip to the other side of the ledger with the Cowboys offensively, I think there's some good things there. I told you in the pregame show, and I felt like Jake Ferguson was going to get more involved in there, and you saw him get going
right away
early in this game. Don't forget about Jake in the red zone. Like when you get to the red zone, don't forget about Jake. Like he's a big target, big body, really good short hands. Like don't forget about him in the red zone. And this Cowboys sometimes they move the ball up and down the football field, and then they get in the red zone, and all of a sudden they just go dumb.
You get to the red zone in the goal line, first play on the 1 yard line. After they got a penalty, you come out and shotgun, you motion Tolbert in and false start. Well, probably got to get a false start if you get under center and your offensive line. No, we just finna maul these dudes, but no, you want to get cute. All right. Second play, shotgun. Third play, shotgun. Fourth play, shotgun. And fortunately, you did get a touchdown off of that by what? Dak using his legs, ladies and gentlemen. He started using his legs. Huh? What happened when you start doing some things back there? Dak, you get 22 yards, the longest run in the Cowboys season. And then he scrambles around and finds Rico Dowdle for, hell of a play using your legs to find him. And then Rico Dowdle's focus. I mean, he should have just caught it the first time, but he didn't. Yeah. But then to get whacked upside the head and bring it in for a touchdown was just an unbelievably fun play. But yes, they scored the touchdown there, but they get wacky in the red zone, and they didn't score the touchdown the first possession when they got down there because they got wacky and holdings and it gets frustrating when you see them move it like that. But let me say this, though, real quick. They're clearly, which is surprising to me because this pass rush is not great, but they did get 2 sacks. They clearly came out and said, okay, the Falcons defense is going to put a lid on this offense. So we're going to game plan to nickel and dime you and slice you up with 1,000 cuts. I actually like the plan that they have to do that. Like when we go back and see how they attacked underneath, I'm fine with that. Eventually, though, you are going to have to hit something downfield. And what you can't do is you can't miss Tolbert down the line where I think what I saw happen, he pump faked that pulled the corner and Tolbert broke open, but he gets back and he's trying to run around as opposed to just sit there, wait for it to clear. And I think he had a touchdown. I would love to hear what he has to say about that. But that was really the biggest miss to me in the first half was that one because that could be a touchdown. And then also the 4th and 1 call after a timeout. I don't understand. That's the best play you got. And that goes to show you have an issue running the ball if you can't get under the center and get 1 yard 2 times in a row. That's sad.
In regard to the Tolbert play, like we said in the pregame show, it's sometimes he gets those progressions, gets rushed, right? Instead of him sitting in there and let that thing develop and come open and deliver the ball, he sometimes comes off of it because the pressure he may feel like the pressure is getting to him. Instead of buying time and staying on it, he buying time, took his eyes off of it and missed a potential wide open touchdown. But I do, while Mike from Pittsburgh has had some wonky things happen in this first half, you do see some more motions. You see some more tight formations. You see some more at motion. So you're seeing a little bit of what we've been asking for in the first half. Again, as we're watching it, we don't have the clicker. We're not going back and reviewing it over and over and over again. But on the surface, it seems like you're seeing more movement from this offense, more guys in motion, more formations where guys are able to expand and to find some open throwing lanes. And you see even Rico running the football with purpose, with a little bit of pop,
Rico looks spry, man. He looks good.
Yeah, he does. And so just having that, I think that is good. And if you could stay within a puncher's chance of this game, you give yourself, because Atlanta's defense isn't a defense that I'm fearful of, right? So I'm like, if you can keep it within a 1-score game, 10 points, like at the end of the game when you really need to open it up, you have a chance to get back in this game, take the lead, or do whatever you have to do to win the football game because their defense isn't that good. So there are a lot of good things that I see right now in the first half from this offense. We got to just keep it. I know on one play, Lamb hurt his shoulder. He came back into it.
We have to keep an eye on that.
We'll keep an eye on that to see how much that affects him because, again, talking about these tight window throws, if you can't reach up, right, because of the shoulder, does that play a part? And when will we find out that, that type of thing, when you go to reach up and all of a sudden now the arm doesn't get there, you tip the ball, tip an interception or something like that. So something to keep an eye out for in this second half is that shoulder with CeeDee Lamb.
He did drop the ball. That was right on him at the very end of that half there. So I wonder if it's already having an effect, right? Now, granted, that he didn't have to reach for it. He just flat out dropped it. But it's something to think about because he was grimacing with the shoulder. And it's not like, it's not like he's just running wide open. So there's going to be some contested catches probably in this game he's going to have to make. So that's something to keep an eye on. I still think offensively they need to keep at the things you were saying, the condensed formations. Again, at some point you're going to have to hit them with maybe a sluggo or something, down the field. We want to get an explosive play, even if it's not a 60-yard touchdown. You still want to get, 20, 30-yard type of play so that you don't have to, it's not pulling teeth to get down the field. But it continues to be, though, once you get into the red zone, like how do you execute? Because it's just not been clean. Like at any given moment this year hasn't been clean. They have to figure out how to get clean down there. I did like that play. They ran like that. I think Olsen said a fake deuce play where they fake block down on Grady Jarrett and they get to that's creative to me. I like that type of inside run, play. Get more of that creativity out of the run. Continue to stay balanced. This is the thing we talk about a lot, right? Like if you stay balanced, whether you're great at running it or not, you force the team to have to respect that. You're not a great running team. And I saw Atlanta run blitzing. I saw Atlanta bringing a ton of guys into the box a whole lot of the time. So if he can remain balanced there and just don't turn the ball over. I mean, he's been efficient in this first half. I think he's like 13 for 17 or something like that. Continue to not turn the ball over. Dice them up in between the 20s, but you have to finish when you get down. That's going to be the biggest thing. Atlanta will allow you to get down there. You got to punch it in.
No, you're absolutely right. Touchdowns are a must in this football game because I think in the second half, both teams are going to be able to move the ball, and it's who can get the most touchdown at the end of those drives that'll ultimately be the deciding factor on who wins this football game.
Indeed, man. This has been the Cowboy Game Day live halftime show brought to you by Dave's Hot Chicken. Again, America's favorite chicken for America's favorite team. Make sure you guys hit up any of the locations in your area. Dave's has some amazing food for you, whether you want lunch, whether you want dinner, whether you want to bring it to the crib because you got the munchies. It doesn't matter. Dave's has got you covered. We will see you guys and have you covered in the post-game show, hopefully talking about a victory. And if they get this one, this will be a hard-fought one because this is it's been a tough first half for them, Jesse.